Poverty is the brother to wickedness. In this life, always pray to overcome poverty. A story written by Christy Midnight Tales. If you enter Omukpu village in the early hours of the morning, before the sun finally wakes the clouds, you will hear three familiar sounds. The distant crow of a confused village rooster, the loud clang of metal from the mechanic workshop, and the steady tock-tock-tock of Okoro's hammer. Okoro was always awake before the rest of the world, not because he was hardworking, but because he was desperate. He was a coffin maker, one of the best in the region. Actually, everyone knew his work. His coffins were smooth, polished, strong enough to last decades underground. But the problem was simple: people were refusing to die. For 3 whole months, the village had not recorded a single burial. Even the old men who usually hovered between life and death suddenly became stronger. The village health center even bragged that they had not admitted a critical patient in weeks, but for Okoro, it was terrible news. Each morning he would sit on a low stool outside his workshop, staring at the dusty road, hoping to see villagers gathering, hoping to hear someone shout, "Come oh, somebody has died." But nothing, just children running, traders dragging wheelbarrows, and Mama Nena frying akara opposite his shop. That was all. Sometimes, he watched her as she fried. She would sit massive waist, wrapper tied tightly, sweat on her forehead, turning the hot balls of akara with a long spoon. The smell attracted half of the village. Her customers never reduced. Meanwhile, his workshop was as empty as an abandoned shrine. One Wednesday morning, Okoro sat hunched over a half-finished coffin. His apprentice, Onyedika, stood beside him looking tired. "Oga, should I sand this one?" the boy asked. Okoro looked at the coffin and hissed, "Leave it. People are not dying. Who will buy it?" Onyedika sighed. "Maybe business will pick up this month." But Okoro wasn't listening anymore. His mind was far. His landlord had already warned him twice. The wood supplier was threatening to stop selling on credit. And his wife had started complaining about food money. That afternoon, Okoro sat outside again, staring at nothing. A dry wind blew dust into his eyes, but he didn't blink. His thoughts were heavy. Just across the road, Mama Nena was already preparing for the next morning. She washed her big black frying pan, sauteed beans, and poured water into her giant bowl. People came to greet her, laughing, talking, buying petty food items. Okoro noticed something interesting. Everyone trusted her. Even pregnant women who normally avoided street food sat comfortably to eat her akara. Her store was life, noise, laughter. Later that evening, when most shops had closed and the village was preparing for nightfall, Okoro remained seated outside. The moon came out. Crickets began their usual choir. He should have gone home. But going home meant facing hunger and questions. He rested his chin on his palm and watched Mama Nena pack her things. She didn't notice him at first. Then suddenly, she looked up and caught his eyes. "Okoro, you're still here. Night don't reach." "Oh," he forced a smile. "I am fine. You need customers. People know they die again." Her tone was casual, almost joking, but something inside Okoro shifted. A strange, uncomfortable thought flashed across his mind, too quick to fully process. Something dark. Something that made his chest feel like it was tightening. He shook his head immediately, rejecting it, but the thought came back again and again, whispering. He looked at Mama Nena, the crowd she pulled every morning, the trust people had in her food, the number of mouths that tasted her akara before going about their day, and slowly, dangerously, his mind began to consider possibilities it had never considered before. For the next few days, the thought refused to leave Okoro's mind. It followed him around like a stubborn shadow, even when he polished coffins, even when he sharpened nails, even when he sat alone in his workshop pretending to be busy. He would look across the road and see Mama Nene frying akara, smiling and joking with customers, and the idea would return again. She controls the stomach of the village. She controls who eats and who doesn't. What if I sold my coffins through Mama Nena? He crushed the thought immediately, but desperation does not die easily. It waits, it crawls back, it whispers. One morning, Okoro woke with a heavy heart. He had no money for transport, no money for kerosene. His wife, Adiku, had woken up before him and gone to complain to a neighbor about the way things were going. Even Onyedika, his apprentice, seemed tired of coming to the shop. No orders, no customers, no hope, That was the morning Okoro finally broke. He walked to the workshop, opened the dusty wooden door, and sat with his head bowed. Across the road, the early crowd was already forming around Mama Nena's store, akara sizzling, pap steaming, laughter rising. Life was happening there. Death was supposed to happen on his side of the road, yet his workshop was empty. That evening, after she had packed up, Okoro crossed the road and approached her store. She was wiping her table with a wet cloth, preparing to go home. "Good evening, Mama Nena," he said. "Okoro the carpenter." She replied, laughing. "Do you want to buy my remaining akara?" He forced a laugh. "I didn't come to buy anything. I want to talk to you." She stopped wiping her table. Her eyes narrowed slightly. "What kind of talk?" He hesitated, but only for a breath. "Business talk." Okoro swallowed hard. He wasn't sure how to say it. "What do I do to make my business move again?" Okoro's voice deepened. "This village is too calm. No more death and it has affected my business." She didn't laugh this time. She just stared at him, long, hard, and silent. "So what do you want from me?" Okoro took a breath that felt like swallowing hot sand. "If you can help me, business will move for both of us. I will pay you 20% of every coffin I sell." The silence after that was a heavy one. Mama Nena looked at him for so long that Okoro started regretting everything. He thought she would shout. He thought she would call him a devil. He even imagined her pouring hot pap on his head, but instead, she laughed, not small laughter, but a deep, throaty, wicked laugh that echoed across the empty evening road. "Okoro," she said, folding her arms, "I know such kind of business before now." He froze. "What? What do you mean?" She walked closer, very close, close enough for him to smell fried oil and sweat. "You think say not today people ask me to do bad thing with food. I done hear worse, many times. But I refused, because their offer no sweet me." Okoro's eyes widened. She smiled, a slow, cold, unsettling smile. 20%, she repeated. "Okoro, bring your hand." His fingers trembled as he raised it. She shook his hand firmly, her grip strong like the handle of a motor. "Tomorrow morning," she said, "I will add something small inside the akara for testing. Nothing too strong. It will start small." Okoro exhaled. It was done, an agreement sealed without paper, without witness, without conscience. By the next morning, the first batch of akara was fried differently. The village did not notice, because poison does not announce itself. It walks quietly, gently, patiently. 3 days later, murmurs began. "Have you heard? Emeka the teller fainted yesterday. Oh. Mama Nwik they complain of strong stomach pain. My neighbor's son no fit stand up." A week later, the first death happened. A young Okada rider, healthy in the morning, gone by evening. Villagers blamed malaria, some blamed too much cold water, others blamed stress. No one blamed the akara. No one suspected the coffin maker. Okoro's shop woke up again. 1 coffin ordered, then 2, then 4, and as the village started mourning, business started booming. But with every hammer stroke, every coffin polished, every nail driven in, Okoro felt a strange fear growing inside him. What if someone finds out? He tried to ignore it. He tried to pretend he was doing what he had to do, but the truth is simple. When you walk with darkness, you don't control it, it controls you. And darkness was just getting started. The deaths continued quietly at first, then they grew louder. Within 3 weeks, grief became a daily visitor in Umukpu. People were fainting on the road, some complaining of sharp pains in their stomach, some simply not waking up at all. The village square became a place of whispers. Another person don't die. What thing they happen for this community? Is it spiritual attack? Or one type of sickness? Nobody had answers. Even the village chief summoned a meeting. "I have lived in this village for 73 years, he said, tapping his walking stick. "This kind of thing has never happened before." Everyone agreed except 2 people, Okoro, whose workshop was now filled with orders, and Mama Nena, whose stall still attracted customers every morning, but behind their eyes, fear was rising. Each time Okoro measured wood, he felt sweat gather behind his neck. Meanwhile, Mama Nena became more paranoid. She started frying her akara before dawn, long before anyone passed the road, making sure nobody ever saw her add anything to the mixture. Sometimes, she would glance around sharply, her eyes darting like someone expecting to be caught. One afternoon, after Okoro delivered yet another coffin, as he sat alone, counting the money from the latest coffin sale. He heard soft footsteps and a gentle knock on his door. He looked up. A young woman stood there, early 20s, fair-skinned, tall, with a small travel bag on her shoulder. "Are you Pa Okoro?" she asked. He frowned slightly. "Yes, who are you?" She smiled warmly. "Oh, it's me, Chioma, your cousin's sister from Nui. Mama sent me to stay with you people small." For a moment, Okoro's heart softened. He hadn't seen Chioma in years. Now she was all grown, beautiful. "Oh, Chioma." He forced a smile, hugging her gently. "You have grown. Oh, welcome. My wife would be happy to see you." She nodded. "I just want to stay for 1 week, before going back to Owerri for my clearance." "That's good," he replied. That evening, Chioma settled into the small room near the back of the house. Okoro's wife, Adiko, was excited to have a visitor. As they ate, Chioma laughed and talked about her school, her clearance, and all the trouble she went through getting her documents. Adiko kept dishing food. Okoro barely touched his plate. His mind was far across the road, at Mama Nene's akara shop. How do I tell this little girl to avoid Mama Nena's akara, he asked himself. Who knows, she might want to have some akara and bread one of these days. Oh God, please protect my cousin for me. I wouldn't want anything to happen to her. Chioma woke early the next morning, humming softly as she tied her scarf. The sun was rising lazily, stretching its pale orange fingers across the sky. Pa Okoro, I'm coming, she called from the doorway. Okoro, half asleep, jumped up from his bed like someone poured cold water on him. Chioma, where are you going? You only came yesterday. She laughed. Just to look around the village. His heart pounded, sweat gathered instantly on his forehead. Wait, let me take a shower and show you around. But Chioma was already slipping her feet into her sandals. Pa Okoro, don't worry. I'll be fine, it's just to stroll around and buy akara from that woman opposite your shop. Okoro froze. But before he could speak again, she was gone, running and laughing innocently, and directly heading towards death. Chioma, 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 he shouted, but she was already out of sight. Okoro rushed out barefoot, nearly falling as he tried to tie his wrapper. He ran after her like a madman, but because she was younger, her speed couldn't match hers. Cars honked. Dust rose behind him, but the girl was already at the store. Mama Nena stood there, calm, smiling, her frying spoon dripping with oil. Good morning, Ma, Chioma greeted happily. My daughter, good morning. Wetin you go chop? 5 akara, please. Fresh ones. Okoro arrived just in time to see Mama Nena drop fresh balls of poison-soaked akara into the paper and stretch it toward Chioma. No. No, don't take it, he screamed. But Chioma had already taken the paper and popped one into her mouth, crunchy and soft inside, the exact same taste that had killed many before her. Okoro grabbed her hand. Spit it out. Spit it out. She jumped back, confused. Pa Okoro. What is it? Spit it out, please. But it was too late. She had already swallowed part of it. Mama Nena looked at him from behind the oil smoke. Her face expressionless. You are disturbing my customer, she said flatly. Customer? Customer? Okoro roared. You have killed her, you have poisoned my sister. Chioma blinked. Uncle. Poison. Me. People nearby stopped walking. 2 Okada riders paused. A woman carrying firewood slowed down. Mama Nena's eyes narrowed. Okoro, behave yourself. How am I supposed to know she is your sister? The plan was to poison the akara for everyone, so that your business can move and people will buy your coffin. Chioma stepped back slowly. Pa Okoro, please say something. What is going on? His voice cracked. The akara, he cried. She adds something inside. She kills people slowly. That's why people die. That's why my coffin business is moving again. A loud gasp swept across the road. People froze, mouths opened. Even the akara in one woman's hand dropped to the ground. Mama Nena hissed sharply. Okoro, shut your mouth. But it was too late, way too late. The words had escaped, the truth had landed, and the villagers were already piecing things together. Ehen. I talk one elderly man shouted. No, that akara they kill us. My neighbor chop here last week before she fall sick. Before they could finish, Chioma had started feeling stomach pain. She clutched her stomach, shouting, Pa Okoro, my stomach aches. In no time, she fell to the ground and stopped breathing. Jesus, Mama Nina, you have destroyed me. The crowd didn't care to know if he was aged, They dragged him by horse trouser, and also dragged Mama Nina to the police station. The few people remaining took Chioma to the village clinic, but before they got there, she was gone. The police held Okoro and Mama Nina for 3 weeks before taking them to court. The judge sentenced them to life imprisonment for knowingly taking people's lives because of greed. That was how the evil partnership ended, not because conscience returned, but because evil always circles back home. It always returns to the sender, always.